Hi, everyone. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
And on this Camper Report Show, we're going to talk to a couple that is part of a growing crowd of people that are leaving the Northeast to RV year round in Florida. It's a very interesting story.
Florida is very, very welcoming. They're coming from all over the world to come down here.
For
Uh,
sure.
I've got I've got a great interview. If you've ever seen this trailer that looks like a silver bullet, it's called the Bowlus. It was out in 1935. I got an interview with Geneva Long, the CEO, and she's young, aggressive, passionate about the trailer, and they just released they play in the premium luxury market, but they just introduced a premium Bowlus travel trailer.
I just saw
Great
a couple.
story.
I just saw a couple of them last week, and I'm looking forward to that interview. Where do we get
Yeah.
all the news that we're going to talk about?
Rick Kessler at RV Business and Ben Quiggle at Woodall's Campground Magazine, the best reporting magazines and newsletters in the business.
And our new friend Chris, who I bumped into here in Florida yesterday when
Chris
you were
Yellow has joined them
covering the event with you.
from RV Pro Magazine. He's now on the staff of RV Business. Yeah.
Those stories and more coming up next, right here. Where?
On the Camp Report Show.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Camp Report Show. This is the news segment. My name's John DePietro. His name is Bob Zagami. And Bob, there's some very interesting news coming from all over the RV world today. And let's talk with one of the basic things that you need. You need a good hitch to hitch your tow vehicle up to your trailer. And our friends at Blue Ox have a great story.
Well, Blue Ox is a very popular company in the RV industry. And one of the main reasons is they're all made in America, in the middle of Nebraska, not in Elkhart, not in Goshen, but in Nebraska. It's an old farm element and equipment company years ago. And Mike Hesse, the grandson, is now CEO of the company. And they're doing some creative things with respect to the RV industry, which is now their primary business. And they have just introduced custom designed receiver hitches. They always had a complete line of hitches that you could mix and match for certain cars and hitch weights and towing. But now you can actually provide them the exact specifications of your tow vehicle, and they will make a custom designed receiver hitch. So it's one more step. There are other companies that
Yep.
apparently done this in the past, but to have lots of times you will not see a mass manufacturer go down to a one-off or a custom designed product because they try to get as much as they can out of the factory. But here's the situation where the leading hitch company in our industry is also going to be providing custom work and custom specified hitches for their customers. Most every dealer in the country sells Blue Ox hitches. Very, very popular company, very popular products.
Yep. And let's be very, very clear here that the hitch is an absolutely vital component to having a safe camping trip. I mean, you know what? Your tow vehicle, they have to stay hitched. And
Yep.
you know what?
And the more that it is integrated into your towing system, the better off you are. And again, their strong point is it's got that little sticker on it and it says made in the USA.
Made. Yep. Totally different. Totally different.
Yep.
Doesn't seem like much, but the reality is it's very important. The other interesting thing that's coming up, it's kind of you might want to say it's a regional event, but it's a big regional event, is that on April 8th, is that the right date?
April
Uh,
6th.
April 6th, there's a
No,
big,
no, you're right. I'm sorry.
okay,
Monday, April 8th.
thank you.
Yeah.
We won't redo that. We'll show the people that I was right and you were wrong.
That we're honest and we're not afraid to correct our mistakes. Correct.
Okay. But Truma is partnering with lots of RV dealers and others in the industry because campgrounds around the area that are going to be impacted by the eclipse are filling up, and Truma is just such a vital aspect of the RV lifestyle now that they want to offer some free refreshments and some fun.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. The eclipse is one of those stories that won't go away, and it's touched by many. A lot of the campgrounds are getting into it. A lot of the
Mm.
touring companies are getting into it, and
Yep.
now we find Truma hooking up with RV dealers. So if you don't want to get out to the campground or take the whole day, they're going to have watch parties at dealerships in the path of, everybody talks about
Yep.
path, all the way from Texas up to Maine, there's gonna be places going. So they've already set up watch parties at Iron Horse RV in San Antonio, Texas, Moke's RV in Conway, Arkansas, Sullivan RV, Center in Decatur, Indiana, and Craig Smith RV in Gallon, Ohio. And I'm sure they'll be adding more in the next
Yep.
week or two, where RVers will be able to go to the dealership, see it on TV, have some refreshments, talk about RVs. So it's another aspect of getting engaged with the whole solar eclipse.
Yep. And Truma is now not just a water heating company, but they've got their air conditioner units that they're starting to find on a lot of original equipment as well. So congratulations to our friends for a very interesting marketing twist, kind of a can't lose situation.
And there's another smart marketing twist, John. What's the other one?
Well, our friends at Winnebago and our neighbors, and as I sit here right now in Fort Myers, Florida, across the street is the Minnesota Twins training facility, and Winnebago, which has its corporate headquarters in Minnesota, has hooked up with the Twins for some activities that will take place throughout the year up in Minnesota at their home field up there. But I'm going to suggest to our friends at Winnebago, we might just call Mike Happy directly, or Hugh Bauer, or Kelly Harms, or Chad Reese, or we're dropping names, to
give them the benefit of our expertise, John.
Work a deal out that if you show up in Fort Myers next year with a Winnebago product and show up at a Twins game, that maybe you can get upgraded seating or free pretzel or something like that. But you know what? It's smart corporate behavior to hitch up with other companies that are headquartered in the same area as you. I congratulate them on that.
Well, and it's also an outdoor activity, and this goes into the new branding of Winnebago that Mike Happy has brought forth, and hiring Hugh Bauer as the president of Winnebago Outdoors. And of course, those divisions, they include Chris Craft, they include Barletta Brooks, they include Winnebago, they include Newmar, they include all these other divisions of the company. Now they've taken, and this one's kind of got a boating theme to it. They've actually got a small mock-up of a Barletta pontoon boat out in the field, and it's going to have 12 seats in it, and you're going to be able to get different food out there that pertains to Marines and boating. And it's a multi-year partnership. I think it's great exposure for the company to get these outdoor people. If they go outdoor to a ball game, then they probably go outdoor hunting or fishing or biking. So right there in the hometown, and in Minnesota, you're going to have as much exposure to Winnebago outdoors as possible.
Not Minnesota. It's Minnesota. Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah, but when you're from Boston, you can do it in your Boston dialect.
We were just. We were just with some people here in Florida yesterday from Minnesota, and they said, we're from Minnesota. So anyway.
See, if I had a choice, so you're on the other side of Fort Myers, so you're close to the Twins. I'm on this side of Naples, and the other side of other side of Fort Myers is JetBlue Park for the Red Sox. So I'd kind of like to see them do something with the Red Sox, but I guess they keep the hometown people happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the news of the week. We want to thank our friends at RV Business and Woodalls, and let you know that this is the Camp Report Show, and we'll be back with two great stories right after this.
Fantastic. At the Camper Report Show. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Camper Report Show today, and my guest is Geneva Long, CEO of Bowlus Inc. Geneva, it's a unique company with a unique product, and you are the CEO. So why don't you take us all the way back, as far back as you want to go, in terms of your engagement with the company and what the company represents?
Absolutely. Well, thanks first of all for having me on today, Bob. Happy to be here. And yeah, let's start at the beginning. So Bowlus is the original riveted aluminum travel trailer from the 1930s. So when you might think of another aluminum travel trailer as being maybe the original or being, maybe more of the household name, it's important to start with that the Bowlus was first. And of course, the original designer of Bowlus had a really fantastic aeronautic history, especially within sailplanes in California. Built the Spirit of St. Louis, taught many pilots how to fly, and that was quite a special time in California in the 1930s as travel trailers and especially aluminum travel trailers were being built. And back then, Bowlus was considered a luxury travel trailer. And so, all of these features are going to seem funny, but, it had an ice box. It had a telephone where if someone was cooking dinner inside the unit, they could telephone the tow car back when you could actually be inside the towable while you were driving in those days. And so really fantastic history and really great build quality. Obviously, during the war effort, the company went dormant and was such for many years. We'll start with my involvement, which is that my family had a 1935 Bowlus and spent about, many years restoring it back to 1930s, as close to authentic as they could get for that era. And we took it on a cross-country trip. And I was finishing at the Wharton Business School at that time and looking to do something other than banking. And so we just kept getting, where can I get something like this? I think that Bowlus, like you said before we started recording, is just so unique and such a unique look. And it just inspires everyone's imagination and nostalgia of what a road trip should be. And so we took it on this trip and just knew that was going to be the business that we got into. So we went away and prototyped the modern Bowlus. And although, we're really proud that design DNA from the vintage Bowlus and the modern Bowlus is still there, that's so important to us, and especially to have that unique shape with the door on the front, the teardrop shape with the tapered tail. But the modern Bowlus is quite different. Obviously, it has more than an ice box and much more modern features, but we've really focused on innovation. But first of all, the body, which is when we redesigned it, we made it taller, we made it wider, we changed the proportions. And because it's a full monocoque design, which means that it's fully encased all around in aluminum, which is especially important for four-season camping and avoiding vermin. And there's all sorts of, reasons why that happens. But that every proportion changed. And so the modern Bowlus has that same shape, but obviously much more modern inside. And I'd be remiss to go ahead. Sorry, Bob. You have a question?
No, the two things that propped up, and it's getting too far behind for me to remember what they were. I was not aware that the original designer had also designed the Spirit of St. Louis.
Built the Spirit of St. Louis. So not the designer, but yes, built it.
He built it. Okay. And at that point, when you were taking the cross-country trip with your parents in what was then a restored Bowlus, was it your first thought to restore other Bowluses, or was it your first thought to create the next generation Bowlus with the new designs and the new concepts that you bring to the industry?
It was to redesign the Bowlus. And so, we love that Bowlus history and the Bowlus shape, but no, this was never for restoration for us. This was always to design a modern Bowlus and take all of the design forward thinking and design forward product of that 30s original Bowlus design and combine it and, reinvigorate it for that modern adventure.
And you did that with the intent as it is. it is a luxury travel trailer, fully intending to take that luxury, bring it into the current environment of the RV industry, correct?
Yes, and I think, back when we started this in the early 2010s, that was especially unique for this industry. And I think, luxury in RV has always been there in the high end, especially in motorhome. But to see, we call our segment the premium, a super premium segment, certainly for our Volterra and Terra Firma models, that was never seen before in the towable market.
And speaking, because it is a towable, from a fuel efficiency, from a design standpoint, what is the range of tow vehicles that are acceptable for the product?
So a huge range. So the Bowlus Rivet has a GVWR of 3,500 pounds, and our Volterra Terra Firma have GVWRs of 4,000 pounds. And so what that means is there's just a incredibly wide variety of tow vehicles that can tow the Bowlus, especially luxury towables as well. So certainly with our existing product, we have, all sorts of luxury SUVs that customers are towing with, all the way to electric vehicles as well. I think what's really interesting is the Bowlus is one of the few towable RVs that's positioned for that transition to electric vehicles, which we're especially seeing as we're based out in California. And it's not as easy just to say that you need a tow vehicle that can just tow the weight, right? So even as tow vehicles start, or electric tow vehicles start increasing those weight limits that they can tow, that's only part of the story. The other part of the story is, what does that range look like? And is that actually feasible to take an all-electric road trip with the range provided? And with a Bowlus, we have over 73% of the electric range. And so you're getting over 230 miles per charge. And that starts to be a really reasonable all-electric road trip. We've had customers take their Bowluses with vehicles like the Tesla X all the way across country, all the way up to Canada, all the way back over and back down to California. And so we know that all-electric road trip is certainly possible.
And that's significant as we look forward to see what our vehicles are going to have in the electrification process as they come on board. What's unique about your electrification process that gives you such a high range and that consumers will understand? I mean, a lot of it's the chemical and the technical stuff behind it. What sets Bowlus apart in that electrification?
So Bowlus was the first all-electric RV, and we spent many years doing that. We were actually also the first to put lithium power back in a Bowlus all the way back in 2016. So it's always been important to us to be at the forefront of that electrification and of that towing with electric vehicles. I remember when the first Bowlus was towed with the Tesla X all the way back in 2016. So we've definitely been at this in terms of electrification for a while. But the real advantage, simply, and as you said, it could get a lot more complicated, is that Bowluses are just very light. And so we design the Bowlus almost like an aircraft, in that we weigh everything that goes in. Weight is extraordinarily important to us because we want that range, and we also want that huge variety of tow vehicles. And so first of all, you have to have a lightweight RV. And then you also have to have an aerodynamic RV. So that's the second part of it, is that the Bowlus is extraordinarily aerodynamic, because again, we'll hear this feedback, I'm sure, is that it looks like an airplane, and that's incredibly important for range as well. So it's the first two together, and obviously handling starts to play into that as well. We have a really low center of gravity, and that's by design, but we design a Bowlus as a vehicle, and that, is so that customers have their easiest, most carefree driving experience when they're towing. And that's really important to us, is that journey on how that customer gets their final camping destination as well.
Okay, we got a couple minutes left. Our guest is Geneva Long, CEO of Bowlus. It's an incredible product. How are you introducing it or bringing it further into the consumer marketplace? And I guess address it from two standpoints. What are you looking at in terms of consumer shows and the public display of the product? But also, how can people get in touch with the company, and where can they find a Bowlus?
Great. Yeah. So, first of all, I think it's been important for us to really establish ourselves in that super premium segment with the Terra Firma and the Volterra. And now with the Bowlus Rivet, we're now into that premium segment, which is really exciting, into that sweet spot between, $150,000 to $175,000, which we're excited about to reach a whole new group of customers. And so starting late last year, Bowlus started selling through dealerships, which is very exciting for us because we now have a nationwide network of dealers where customers can go see a Bowlus close to home. In terms of shows, we hope to participate in a few special shows this year. So looking forward to that. And otherwise, we still sell direct out of our dealership in California. And so we always welcome hearing from customers who want to have that conversation directly with us.
That's fantastic. So if somebody wants to, they look at this interview, they say, wow, it sounds like a great product. She's really got the act together, the product's out. How do people find you and the company?
So you should go to bowlus.com, and there we'll have all sorts of ways to get in touch with us, tools to explore inventory, tools to ask questions, which Bowlus is right for you. We really pride ourselves in having all sorts of information on our website, walkthrough tours of the Bowlus with me, all sorts of information to really dive into.
So you're not just sitting in the corner office being the CEO and telling what people to do. You're out there on the line, you're actively engaged in the product and even the promotion and the sales, which I think is fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the fun part for us is we've grown this company from the very start. And so, we know a little bit of everything, and that's really, the beauty of it. I was part of training all of our certified salespeople at dealerships, making those relationships, meeting our customers, designing this product, marketing this product. So yeah, we have a lot of fun here.
There's a lot of passion in your voice. There's a lot of fun in your product, and congratulations on, getting the word out. And I want to thank you for joining the Camper Report Show today, because I think you got a real bright future, and whatever we can do to help and make sure our fans know about it. That's why we have this show.
Thanks so much, Bob. This has been great.
Thank you.
Everybody, welcome back to the Camper Report Show. My name is John DePietro, and we are in sunny and warm Florida. We're with a couple campers here, and they are transplants from Connecticut because they're smarter than we are, and but they're big campers. And Pete is in the blue, Linda is in the flowered shirt. They look like they're incognito because their glasses have done the work of the Hollywood star. But talk about your camping experience, when you started looking, what you bought, and then we'll switch over to you, Linda, and tell us what you like about camping.
Well, we started back in 2021 with a Flagstaff E-Pro. It was our first dip into the RV world. I was driving a Jeep Gladiator at the time, so we found a trailer that fit, and I was able to tow with the right requirements. So like Linda said earlier, we unfortunately had our checkbook with us at the time, so we took the leap. We used that for about 2 years, learned a lot with it.
Had you retired yet?
Yeah, we were retired,
when we
started this.
Okay.
At the time, we didn't know what we didn't know.
Right, exactly.
It's a learn by trial type of thing.
And you both agree that there is a lot to learn in buying your first RV.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Like I said, you don't know what you
Thank
don't
God for
know.
Google.
And I'm pretty handy, so and looking at a lot of YouTube videos, when watch a lot of that, and you get to figure it out, and you watch other people around you. We've had that for about 2 years, and then
Upgrade.
we were able to take 3 3, 5, 7-day trips, and then it started getting a little cramped.
And how big was the first one you said?
About 20 foot.
20 foot. Okay,
And so
now
just
you've
recently,
added 10 feet.
We added 10 feet, yeah.
just recently we went to a 30-foot Lance. Got a new tow vehicle for that, and yeah, now we're going out, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, and it's just a lot more comfortable. I'm a lot more comfortable towing it at the same time. So
Right,
it seems to be working well for us right now.
You talked earlier about hotel room versus your own space.
Yeah,
Linda,
definitely.
address that issue.
Yeah, definitely. It's nicer to know who's slept in your bed and who's changed the sheets and whatnot. But it's more homey. You can make it your own.
Yeah.
And you can bring the dog with you.
That was my next question, because I've talked to campground owners that say 60 to 75% of people are camping with at least one dog. Are you seeing a lot of people at campgrounds with multiple dogs?
Depends on the size. The little ones seem to come in packs.
Yeah.
The big ones seem to be a little bit more singular.
Now, your dog, you don't put one of those those dog strollers, do you?
No.
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 Okay.
No. His head would fit in one. He's very big. He weighs about 80 pounds.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be the baby stroller thing.
No.
Let's talk about some of those things that you need to consider. Motorized versus towable,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And you went the towable
We
route.
went to towable because, I grew up on a farm, so I'm a lot more comfortable towing.
Oh, do you drive a tractor?
Tractors, trucks,
Oh.
everything. So
Where are you from originally?
Suffield.
Oh, okay.
Lived my full life there.
Oh, right there, okay.
So, it didn't scare me at all. Driving it around, backing it in, didn't
No
faze
big
me.
deal.
And also, too, when you're towing, you already have, on a hook, and you have a vehicle you can use to drive around and everything like that. You don't have to have
Yeah, right.
another
Yep.
vehicle. So to us right now, it just made sense to have the towable.
Yeah. And you have spent a lot of time up and down the East Coast camping, but when you look for a campground, Linda, who picks the campgrounds?
I think it's kind of joint. Peter tends to do a little bit more of the research than I do.
That's that engineer part.
It's that engineering in
Yep.
him, and then I just kind of make the final decision. But
Yep.
usually we'll have a few to pick from.
Oh, you make the final decision.
It's more of,
Okay.
we pick where we want to go, and then you just start researching the different available sites.
So you'll pick an area first,
Yeah,
and then a campground.
yeah, yep.
Okay.
And then from there, we just decide which one we like best.
Do you look for special features in a campground? Are you pool and shuffleboard and
Not necessarily.
pickleball
Not
people?
necessarily.
Yeah, mostly like what we want to do in the area. So we like to go to concerts, and so
Okay,
if
so
there was a
you-
concert in the area, we'd look for something available. And it's just, we prefer to be on the water if we could, but that's not always available.
So the campground is not necessarily the destination. The region is the region or an event.
Right, but
Right.
sometimes it is the
Yeah.
destination.
Like when we went to Margaritaville,
Right.
that's more of a destination
Yeah.
because there's, they're just growing there. There's not a lot.
Up in Auburndale.
Oh, yeah.
Auburndale,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're 45 minutes to an hour from Disney, so it's
Yeah.
kind of a far.
What did you like about that?
Margaritaville?
Yeah.
Well, it was brand new. I mean, it was
Yeah, we've been there twice.
the sites.
Oh,
are,
twice already.
The sites are beautiful.
Yeah.
They're big. They're
Did you get the
spacious.
tiki hut one?
We did one time.
One
Oh, you
time,
did?
Yeah.
And I would do it again.
Did you get the tiki?
It's well
Yeah.
worth the money, yeah.
The tiki
And
huts.
it's just a relaxing area. It's.
You don't have to. Once you get in there, you
No,
can turn
you don't have to
turn the
leave.
truck off.
Right.
Yeah, you don't
My
have to
brother
leave.
and sister-in-law met us there, and they don't have a camper, but they stayed at one of the
One of the.
cottages.
Yep.
And it
They're
was,
more than
Yeah,
you
we
say
are.
cottages.
Nice.
They're not the little cabins.
No,
They
no,
are.
it was
Right.
very comfortable. They
They're
were
beautiful
happy.
homes.
Yep.
And we were right across from them, so it was nice. We could meet up, and we cooked dinners in our little tiki hut. So, yeah.
Yeah. Then there's that license to chill bar down at the
Oh,
end
yeah,
there.
yeah. Be careful when you buy drinks there; they're kind of pricey.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. But you had fun. So how about future trips? Anything on the horizon for you?
We're going to Tybee Island for Mother's Day,
Where is that?
Georgia.
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 Just out by
Us-
Savannah.
Yep.
Okay.
Outside of Savannah, and we're meeting my brother there. He has a trailer also, and then we're doing the Bourbon Trail in September
In Kentucky.
Oh.
in Kentucky, and then we're going to Philadelphia
In June.
to visit our daughter.
Okay, so
So
you've
we're
got
dragging up there.
you're planned. You're
Yeah.
planned out.
You have to plan down here.
So when you're heading up to Savannah, up that area there. Are you gonna try to truck it in one day, or are you gonna take a couple days?
No, we'll probably take at least one stop.
Yeah, we stopped one night.
Yeah, yeah. You're not, you won't go from dawn to dusk.
We
Right,
have.
you have.
We have just, but recently we were visiting our other daughter up in Pensacola, and that's about 650 miles. And
Is that right?
Yeah, it's state. Florida's a
Straight
long,
up, straight up the coast, straight up 75,
and
huh?
over.
Very, yeah.
It's about so. Last time we drove that straight through, coming home.
It was long.
Left.
It was long.
Yeah.
6 o'clock
Yeah,
in the morning
but
their time, and came
Interstate
through.
highways.
Yeah, so it's not terrible.
Yeah, you take 75 up to 10, and then you head west.
I know I've asked you this before, but suggestions for people that are looking for their first one.
I think that you just need to decide what your needs are and your wants. I mean, everybody's different, obviously. Our first one had a Murphy bed in it.
Okay.
We thought that was kind of cool when we first bought it, but then after a while, it's like,
Put it
it was
up,
a lot of
put
work,
it
up and
down,
down,
put
up
it
and down,
down.
up and down, and it was only a full size.
Yeah.
So it was kind of tight.
But the nice thing about the Murphy bed, in a small trailer like that, it does give you the feeling of a bigger camper.
Yeah,
when
when
the
you
Yeah,
bed is
right,
up.
right, when the bed's up, yeah.
Right.
So
yeah,
it gave
yeah.
you more sitting area.
How about outdoor kitchens? Do you have that in your new one? Or,
Well, we have a Blackstone that we have
Yeah.
hooked up
Right.
outside.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Oh, you can hook it right up?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a
Right up outside.
propane hookup right on the
I would say we
outside.
use the outside stuff more than the inside kitchen,
Yeah.
definitely.
Would you ever consider a toy hauler?
We've seen a lot more people with toy haulers, yeah,
I
sitting
don't
out.
know. That's a
to
step
be a big
up.
thing.
That's for the type of trips we do, it's probably not needed at this
Needed,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
But depends. You never know. You never know.
Cool. Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on the Camp Report Show. Pete and Linda, Connecticut transplants, now smart enough to be living in Florida, but camping and camping and planning and camping and camping and planning.
Planning's key.
There you go. This is the Camp Report Show. Stay with us.